friendly bike.
If podcasting is riding a bike, you still have training wheels.
Oh, for sure. But still, it's like the bumper lanes.
Why would you agree with me on that? That's ridiculous.
I don't know. Well,
don't just listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth this episode. For the first time in 400 episodes, maybe you'll listen to the words coming out of my mouth and you'll learn you something.
Maybe, and I will.
What are these contraptions, these microphones? We haven't done this in 2 months.
Almost, yeah.
It's been a long time. And we had this weird fantasy that we were going to have podcasts during production. We're going to have all these guests on. You were going to interview the DP and our actors and Jeff. And what the hell were we thinking? If you would have brought a microphone to me and said, let's do a podcast during production.
Way too optimistic when it came to that.
Yeah, that's not happening.
But it's the spirit of it, though, that counts.
Because we're so excited. You're going into production. I guess we should. I mean, we had one podcast where we announced Track Shack, and then we never talked about it after that.
I think we did another podcast, but we're like, it's pre-production. You know what it is. Bullshit, yada, yada, yada. We don't want to bore you with that.
Well, just to wrap up, I guess. Okay, it went amazing. Yeah. Notes on Track Shack to production. 5 days, 12 to 14 hours a day. It's like when we cover a movie that we really loved and you can't really talk about it. But when you didn't like a movie, you're like, fuck that movie. And let me tell you why. X, Y, and Z.
Right.
I could have a separate episode, I guess, to talk about how perfect production was and how crazy it was and how great it was. It's just, there wasn't a lot of drama. So it was like it went so smooth. There's not really much to say besides that. It was fucking amazing.
Right?
It was like splendiferous.
Yeah. I mean, of course there was problems, but it wasn't like...
What problems? I don't remember any problems.
Oh, just like minor bullshit that you have to deal with. But that's the deal, you know.
But I'm the director.
Well,
I do not know about problems. That's the glorious part about being the director.
You know, like hard drives frying.
Why is that person upset? I don't care.
Yeah, but there was everyone was just in great spirits and just
everybody was a team player. Everybody knew what production was. They knew what the constraints were. They knew how long the days were going to be. And you know what? I know I wrote the damn thing, but I'm not tooting my own horn. They knew that it was good. They knew we were there for something that was special, magical. They can see this thing being good, and it was funny, and it was fun to be around, and everyone knew their jobs. I mean, and everyone did their jobs so well, and they were perfect for their jobs. You know, right down to our production assistants were perfect. Yeah. You know, and all the way up to the casting there was not a single person that we cast that was not perfect for this role that we gave them. And right to everybody on the crew fit together like gloves. Oh, they were supposed to be there. It's like cosmically the stars aligned and we had a perfect production. And you think that I'm saying that out there in podcast land. No, I'm not. It was the anomaly of anomalies. Production went from day one to the last day. Holy shit, did we just do that? Because I'm usually like in the corner in the fetal position where nobody sees me just for a little bit.
Right.
Just a little bit. I'm not saying that didn't happen at least one, no fetal positions, but there was this one monster scene where I had no fucking clue how I was going to cover it because there was like 9 actors in the scene. Mm-hmm. So I just kind of went on my own and went, holy shit, 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 holy shit. But I knew if I just sat down with pen and paper, I was going to be okay. And that's what I did. I drank a lot of fucking coffee.
Oh, there was a lot of energy, caffeine drinks.
Hey, I didn't smoke any cigarettes and I didn't eat like shit. Okay?
Yeah.
Now that's really good for me on a set. The only thing I didn't do was sleep.
Yeah, me too.
But besides that, I maintained a healthy-ish lifestyle. I pretty much I think I was in a great mood on set at all times.
Everyone was so positive.
Everyone knew their lines.
Holy shit, yeah.
I was thinking about that a couple days ago. We didn't have I rarely remember somebody yelling out line. I remember somebody blowing it. I don't remember anybody blowing a take because of lines.
No.
Everybody showed up and knew their shit, and it was fucking amazing.
It's so weird. Every anomaly was happening for us. Like that one, everybody, the cast was perfect. The crew was like, they worked together for 15 years, even though they met each other one day before production, basically.
Everybody on set, it was like we had done this before. And everybody was like a professional, and everybody had done this for, 15 years. And, yeah, that was so, it was comforting to be around, because you just walk through that threshold of the building every day and you go, oh, wow, I'm back on set again. And here we go. Another 14 hours. And you get done with 14 hours. You go, God, man, I do need like 2 or 3 hours of sleep. But then 2 or 3 hours of sleep later, and you're like, I'm back again.
I know. Just roll right out of bed and head right to set. And
it was magic. It was magic. And
I'm
now,
still in awe. Like how,
well, I know
how it all went down.
Maybe we'll do a podcast on the post-production.
Well, that's a whole different animal. You don't have to location schedules, all that. You can kind of.
I seriously, if we would have tried to do podcasts during this, I would, somebody, if that's bad producing, if somebody wouldn't have walked up to us and said, "Go fuck yourself, put the microphones down." Are you guys crazy?
Yeah.
I mean, if I walked around between takes, maybe with the microphone, and be like, "Hey, can I see a few questions?"
Yeah, maybe for some of the actors.
Go away.
The crew's like, "Fuck you, we got another scene to do right now."
Big shout out to everybody. Though I was really, I am still, like you said, in awe, but I'm also so grateful to every single person that was involved in the production. I don't think I could ever thank them for how smooth and professional they all were. It made my life, it made my job the best job in the world. That's why being the director is the best job in the world. Because when everybody shows up like that, which is a rare case, you can have fun. And that's when we got to explore and we got to really figure out what this thing was.
Yeah. And one of the biggest things for me is, and I know you know this about like productions, performances, you become like a little family, and how quickly it felt like family on set. And I was sad at the wrap party, just like
so sad. That's why I got so blind drunk.
Right? Numb the emotions.
Yeah, smoking my cigar like an old producer, singing karaoke. Well, the rap party, that's why there are photos and stuff, but I don't want to see them. Because
you haven't looked at them?
No, please. I mean, that's the time when you literally just go nuts, like you're in Thailand or something.
Right.
Like, and rightfully so. Like, whatever my behavior was at the rap party, you know what? I don't judge myself, so don't judge me. I know I had a great time.
Everyone had a great time.
So great. Because you finally let that adrenaline all out. But we made it, like you said, a whole new family. So maybe we'll invite some of those family members on our regular podcast. I mean, that was the intention. We could do that. That'd be really fun, because we are a film podcast. We do cover movies and new releases and what we see, and the format's changed throughout the years. I have maintained a steady diet even through production of movies that I have watched in their entirety. And I know you probably haven't. You probably haven't watched shit.
No, I not through production, but I've gotten back to it. Maybe I have, but I was doing really good before that with my record keeping skills. And then the production happened, and I'm like, I'm tired of fucking spreadsheets. I'm tired of note lists. I'm like, I just didn't even think about it.
Well, I had to watch movies that would only dull my senses. I couldn't watch anything. I couldn't watch anything that you would hate.
That is amazing. This is going to be my favorite podcast ever,
no foreign films, nothing from the Criterion Collection, nothing you actually had to think about.
Me either.
Please. Like, I looked at my list. I think I watched Midnight in Paris like 75 times.
Well, everybody has that movie, the comfort movie.
Don't say that's my movie. Okay, that's very presumptuous.
One of them.
No, it's not. It's just for that moment. Okay, you don't know me.
Okay, whatever. No, I call bullshit.
Okay, what's my other movie? Midnight in Paris is my movie I watched for comfort. What's my other movie?
What about Bob?
No, that definitely is. That movie is so genius. I have to analyze it. I have to be in the right mood. That's like one of my top.
I know that
one or two favorite comedies of all time. The other one is what? Comedies of all time. I have a top 1 or 2.
Billy Madison.
Okay, that's top 3. Okay, there's one more. I mean, it's really, you don't know it.
Those are the top 2. And then
that's just a shame.
Oh, come on, you can't keep adding. I keep adding, and you're like, it's this very specific one. What is it?
But the point is, I couldn't watch anything. No, you don't know me, so I'm not going to tell you. You have to guess your whole life. Clifford. Anyway.
Oh yeah, of course. Why didn't I think of that?
I know all those people out there making their AFI lists are like Clifford, Billy Madison. And what? What was the other one?
What about Bob?
What about Bob? Like the What About Bob might make it into like the AFI top comedy thing one day. The other ones, probably not. I remember Martin Short gave an interview. They do those retrospectives on like talk about all your movies.
Oh yeah.
And he got to Clifford and he kind of just laughed and went He goes, when people come up to me, they want to talk about, inner space or Captain Ron, I'm always just so affectionate to these people because I know they really like their families or whatever. They like these movies. When the fans of Clifford come up to me, I always know they're the stoners.
That's amazing. I never knew that.
And if you know me, I'm not a stoner, so I took offense to it immediately. But I understand what he's talking about. Yeah,
right.
Because that one is so high concept. If you don't get it, you don't get it. And if you're high watching it, it blows your fucking mind.
Yeah, I cannot confirm nor deny that statement, but yeah.
That's a movie that will make you feel high.
Oh, for sure.
What is going on here?
Or elevate your high if need be.
I did watch a bunch of mind-numbing movies during production because I just couldn't handle analyzing anything else about movies because we're making one. And that continued on after production was over because I was so burnt out from production. I think I just now have started getting back into watching actual cinema again.
Me too.
And it's enjoyable again. It's not 100% because I'm still like, production.
Yeah, we're still on that tail end of it. Same here. It's like only the past like 2.5 weeks I've been watching movies. Mm-hmm. I mean, I started watching Oz a little bit and get into that.
Not a movie.
I know, but that's part of it though. It's like, all right, at least I know what I can. Next episode, keep it going, right?
Oz, what a strange choice after all these years. You know what I haven't watched? It's a prison drama.
It's like the worst quality ever on HBO, but hey, I'm enjoying it so far.
I mean, Robert Wool. I love Robert Wool, and J.K. Simmons is in that. It's one of those, I think it's breakout role. Yeah, I never watched it, and I don't really have a reason to right now. No, very, very strange. I'm gonna go watch Oz right now.
I think we were talking about somebody was like, "Fuck it, let's do it."
Somebody gave you the idea.
Yeah, I was like,
I want to meet this person.
I remember the commercials on HBO. But anyway, this movie podcast, not show podcast, right? So.
Don't act like you're the one that directs this podcast and where it's going.
I'm trying to
400
stop
fucking
myself.
Episodes. I'm the voice of reason. Yeah, go back and hear the giggles for 400 episodes. Yeah, that was the sound of deafening laughter from the audience. Yeah, you can hear it only in your head.
Yeah,
it's like somebody's laughing at me right now. My ears are tingling. My funny bone is funnying. So yeah, I guess so. Let's start new releases.
Okay.
Things that we've seen that have come out that in the meantime since the last time we have done this. There's only two that I have seen that are new releases.
Me too.
And one of them is the one we're going to talk about first because we've both seen it. But what's the other one?
Well, it kind of ties into that one.
No,
Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe.
You watched that?
Yes, I did.
First of all, you watched that without me.
I did.
You're a fucking asshole.
I had nothing else to do.
I mean, I believe me. The time of Beavis and Butthead is so over. When they tried to bring it back, the reboot of it did not work because it's not me in the 90s. Like Beavis and Butthead was incredible where Beavis and Butthead sits in my brain for how formative that show was on my sense of humor. And yes, judge away on how stupid I am probably, but I'm telling you, there was something about that show that was so seemingly dumb, but it's so intelligent how dumb it was.
Yes.
It was perfect. And for its time, it was perfect.
And I really had the intention of watching the movie and being like, all right, well, I'm going to probably shut this off after 15, 20 minutes.
It's like Austin Powers. Like if anybody quotes Austin Powers and says like, yeah, baby, or like swing, like Dana Carvey or anything, that shit drives me crazy because those are not even the quotable things about those movies. And Beavis and Butthead, when everybody would just do the laugh and stuff, you go, you're not actually a fan.
Right.
It's the lines in these movies that are so fucking funny. I mean, just the way they would comment on music videos with one word or two. My favorite was when Ween was on there and he just goes, Ween. I mean, it sounds so dumb to say out loud, and it is, but when you're a kid, you hear that and the timing's just perfect.
Right. And
it's just perfect.
And do you want me to talk just a little bit about it?
Yeah, start off with Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe.
Well, it takes place. Well, our other
Do the Universe?
Do the Universe, yeah. It takes place. There's a little bit of multiverse action. That's all the rage.
Can we not talk? Can we talk about that word first?
Multiverse?
Yeah. Because I thought that was specifically a Marvel comic book thing, but it's not apparently.
Right. Metaverse, multiverse. It's because everyone's doing a movie kind of.
So did this start sort of with like the Star Trek reboot? Remember when they brought Khan back and it was Benedict Cumberbatch, and then he was like, I used to look like Ricardo Montalban, but that was in a parallel universe, but I'm still going to yell Khan, but actually Spock yells it this time.
Yeah, I don't. It just started picking up, but it's
because that's bullshit, by the way, and I always hated that. Whatever this multiverse is, when it related to, well, we're basically, this is a remake, but it takes place in a parallel universe, so we're calling that the multiverse. That's bullshit. That's absolute bullshit. That's bad writing. If I was a storyteller and we're sitting around a campfire, I've heard this one already. They go, no, this is in a parallel universe. I'd go, you're the worst fucking storyteller I've ever heard. It's like when somebody says, and then we built the house on an Indian burial ground.
Right.
You go, that is the worst trope I've ever heard in my life. Stephen King, I think, invented that. And then for the next 30 years, people started stealing that. You can't just do that. You can't pivot to, what if we all existed in this time?
Right.
You go, yeah, but we already know the story.
It's
the same fucking story.
Yeah. Well, when you can get it's already starting to be overdone in my mind already.
Oh, you think?
Fucking, but but some movies can do it tastefully, maybe.
And those movies are?
Well, one of them maybe we'll talk about in a little bit, and then
talking about the movie we're going to feature in this episode.
But,
yeah, that's what kind of broke the mold on the multiverse,
right?
To me, because I didn't know you could do that,
right? Yeah,
that was something different. If the multiverse is that's fine. But now everybody's going to do that,
but it's just a little bit of twinge of that with Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe.
Tinge is the word you're searching for.
Tinge, yes, thank you. Well, synopsis, real quick, high level. Beavis and Butthead.
Do we really have to talk about this? I don't care.
Okay. Well, the best thing about, all right, I didn't have high hopes.
I love Mike Judge. I just know this. Come on. Just give me the quick breakdown. Not even plot wise. Was the thing funny?
I did laugh a bunch.
A lot.
Not as much as I thought I would.
You thought you were? I would absolutely think I was not going to laugh at all during this.
But it kind of met my expectations. I was like, okay, they kind of earned them doing a sequel. It wasn't like fire, crash and burn. I was like, you did it. They put Beavis and Butthead, and they were their characters with a lot of situations that we face with in 2022 or in the past years, because they get time travel to 2022 from 1998. They weasel their way onto a NASA space mission, and they try to kill him on the ship, but they ended up going through a black hole.
I have to let some air out of my brain to keep up with this conversation.
But it's like they still found a way for some jokes to keep it just so fresh.
We're talking about Beavis and Butthead still.
Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. I would say maybe watch it by yourself. Don't watch it with me, because I'll just ruin it.
I could not watch this by myself. There's a weird thing about comedies. If it's, I can't watch it if I'm not laughing, if I'm by myself. I feel it's like American Idol, those auditions. I can't watch that shit because it's not funny to me that these people aren't funny. It's embarrassing. I feel for them like it's me up there. As a comedy writer, if it's not funny, I feel like it's my script that I'm not laughing at. It makes me want to crawl inside of myself and die. So if this isn't funny by myself, I'm coming after you with a meat cleaver.
It's not that it isn't funny, but it's the familiarity of it that you're like, okay, it's Beavis and Butthead doing the
But
universe.
then why don't you just watch Beavis and Butthead Do America?
I did too.
Because that's
ready.
Oh, you're sick. You're just a sick person.
I had to compare it. That's why.
I have seen Beavis and Butthead Do America. I think I saw it 4 times in theaters.
I saw it twice.
And I had the soundtrack, and I've probably seen it 10, 15 times on. I don't need to watch it again. I know every frame. Okay, yeah. Why did you?
I did too, but it was just, hey, put it on. I did.
Like that Clerks 3 movie's coming out soon, so I watched Clerks 2 for some nostalgia, and I didn't remember any of it, and I'm going like, oh,
yeah. Can't wait for that one.
Oh, all right,
ready.
Yeah. So Beavis and Butthead. No, let's move on. Fine. Okay. So watch it because it's funny.
Yeah, it's funny, and it doesn't beat it into the ground, the familiarity of it. It's not like a reboot, even though there's some,
I'm not excited. Come on, we're talking about Beavis and Butthead.
See, I took one for the team with that one.
And no, you didn't. You brought it up first, and now you've derailed the podcast.
Let's talk about a good movie, like a more more cerebral movie.
I love this. You're trying to find a smart word, but you're like, a good movie. You started with good, and then you went cerebral. Now, good. How about good?
Yeah.
Caveman came out.
Yeah. Fuck it.
That's why you watch Beavis and Butthead, and I watch a good movie like Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
So did I.
Oh, you saw that one too.
I have wearing my...
Today's episode of the Four Seasons of Film podcast is brought to you by Phil's Coffee. Phil's specializes in handcrafted coffee made one cup at a time. Visit a location today or find them on the web at philscoffee.com. That's Phil's with a Z, coffee.com. Find the beans you're looking for.
I have wearing my...
Well,
my
we're late
film
to the party on this one because it came out a while ago.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe during production. I don't know.
I think it was in April or...
I'm in the time warp with movies right now, but you have to cover this because it's a new movie. But really, I really want to find out what you thought about this movie because, no offense, but when you get a movie that is somewhat philosophical and there could be a deeper meaning and message, the person I don't turn to is Andy Petchen.
With good reason, and I understand, but you should.
But why is that? Why do I not turn to you?
I don't know.
Because your head's shoved so far up your ass. I don't even finish that sentence.
Fill in the blank.
You are not the philosophical person I go to. I say that rock has meaning, and you go, yeah, I could sit on it.
I'm not that bad. Come on.
Did you say rock beats the hell out of my hemorrhoids?
You gotta get me in the right mood, I guess.
No, please.
What do you mean? I'm not.
Okay, prove me wrong. What's the movie called again? I always fuck up the title.
It came out in
the
March
title.
2020. I'm gonna fuck it up too.
You can't even
Everything,
say it.
everywhere, all at once.
And proceed.
All right.
So the movie is about hot dog fingers, and
Stapling.
I'm trying to mold this to your taste, like how I think you watch this movie is. I can't wait to bite those two because I want the cheddar cheese inside.
That is not what I thought about.
Philosophically, like there's something philosophical about that. There's not, but
what? What's hidden inside? Twinkie filling.
You're a hungry guy.
I am, but that has nothing to do with how this movie proceeded to touch.
All right, so to start off, the movie did throw me for a loop because of the multiverse thing. I didn't realize that because I thought this was a Marvel movie.
Did you?
Yeah, I thought this was like a Russo brothers movie that was part of the Marvel universe, the Marvel multiverse. Like I was waiting for Captain America to come out at some point, but it kept every frame kept coming by, and it kept going. Wait a second, this is actually saying something. This can't be a Marvel movie,
Right?
That's terrible to say, but do you understand what I mean?
No, but that's not the purpose of a Marvel movie. This is
Except for Endgame. I'm telling you, man, Endgame will be Endgame's the only Marvel movie I would actually analyze and tell you there's something philosophical there. But you're right, because even Endgame, what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
The philosophy is all there. Captain America's an old man and he's going to die.
Right.
He did all that stuff and he sacrificed. We're never going to see him again. Dead.
Got it.
Boom. Wow. Everything is right in your face like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
You're thrilled, but you're on a goddamn roller coaster and it's thrilling. You get to the end, you go, man, that was fun. Can't wait to watch that again in 25 years.
For some.
Well, this is me. That's my perspective. But this movie, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Everything, everywhere. Yep.
I got it.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I keep flipping it too.
I'm trying because the next cocktail party, you got to be able to say that, nailed it.
EEAO.
Just call it that. Yeah, let's see how boned up on the job you are at the next party. Did you hear that guy just call it fucking movie EEAO? Yeah, that was my friend Andy. Smart guy. Very smart.
He's very deep and meaningful. We talked about
Went to Yale, I promise. He was at the campus once. He got arrested for being on the campus. The philosophy of the movie hit me immediately because it's seemingly kind of silly.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're spinning some kind of message at you. And also in that Tenet way, you kind of got to go check out because you're probably not going to get all this at once. And if you really try, you're going to miss the movie, I think.
Right.
It's a multi-universe watch, which I did appreciate. Thoughts on what it's about? Of course, we could get into. I really just want to hear what kind of fucked up shit you have to say about what this movie's about. No offense. And then you can try to open my diary with your key into the insights of what this movie's about.
I'm so excited.
But first of all, what is the actual movie about? Not the philosophy. What's the actual movie about?
It is following a lady named Evelyn Wong, who's has a family, runs a laundromat. It starts off that they're having problems with taxes for the laundromat business, and then it turns out that
her family is
and her and her father's coming from China, or her father's coming from overseas to visit her, and she has that whole stress going on too. And then when they get to the IRS office, you find out that there is the ability to transfer your energy, your body, your soul, or whatever, to a different timeline in a life that maybe you choose one path and then you went another way. What would it be like if that's path? Like, what if she became a singer? What if she became a martial arts movie star? What if she had hot dog fingers? What if?
All right, I've seen the movie and you're losing me. I think
keep up.
I think actually like the elevator pitch would not be that, because I'd go, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Okay, like the first part's okay. Like there's some struggle in reality with the taxes. They're going to lose their laundromat, and I guess like where I would jump in and save your ass during this pitch.
Okay,
say there's an outside force that is threatening to destroy the universe, but it's in a different universe, and it's going to affect all universes, and it has to do with the main character, and our journey is to figure out why. Sold.
Where's the check? Boom.
But yeah, I mean, there's an outside threat that it's not just the main character's universe that is going to be destroyed. It's all of the universe, and you really have to figure out what does she have to do with it, and why does everybody in her universe look the same but have different personalities in the multiverse.
Right.
And that's the fun for me about the movie is watching one reality and then taking the same actors into the other reality and seeing these amazing performances come alive, because that shows you the range of these characters. I remember thinking who's the guy that played the dad in this?
Oh, I was like, when I heard his voice, I was like, that sounds like
it's Short Round from Indiana Jones and
Data or Goonies. That's what I thought.
Yeah,
I was like,
Temple of Doom.
Same.
Yeah, it's him.
His name is Wayman Wang in here in the movie, and then Ke Huy Quan.
Cool. So
apologies if I butchered that.
You did. But I remember seeing him and I kept thinking, oh man, this guy's totally miscast. Like, he's not pulling this off. Like, he's so timid. This makes no sense. Like, what is going on? And then he switched in the martial arts mode and I went, oh, that's that kind of movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're watching two realities here. And again, the fun of it is seeing how the two tie in and how crazy this the ideas were coming at you on the screen. I mean, It kind of reminded me like a smart version of staying up all night, till 4 a.m., coming up with ideas with your friends, and everything's funny and everything's fucking crazy because you just get so tired.
But it all works. This
all was strung together in a really intelligent way, and it was saying something about life. So much heart came out of this movie, counteracted with kind of the silliness of it, and then in the kung fu and the martial arts sequences and the action. So it really molded a lot of genres together here. And I think that's where the movie is the most successful, because it doesn't short one genre. It's like a giant layered cake that services all genres. And it just depends on what your favorite genre is. Mine is obviously the philosophical genre and the message that it spins at you about life and humanity and sort of I guess the father, but really, mother-daughter politics and that and familial politics, and that's my favorite part. My least favorite part is actually the kind of like the hot dog fingers.
Yeah,
and
the
stuff
real
like that.
out there.
Yeah.
There was some of it that really worked, like
some of it really works, but there is some of it where I'm like
the Ratatouille reference. I was losing my shit at that.
And that's funny, but it also goes in. It's a little bit strange,
especially how far they take it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, man. As a writer, I can wake up and just go, let's just be fucking crazy.
Hey, Jamie Lee Curtis, today you have to go get hot dog fingers.
You know, that her performance was unbelievable in this movie. She scared and grossed me out so bad. Especially, I mean, she scared the shit out of me when she was coming after you with like trying to kill you with like the axe and all that kind of stuff. She had the thing in her forehead. I mean, she really, really was scary in this movie. But it was such a multi-layered movie that it's tough to go into all the layers. Suffice it to say that it's so multi-layered and so chaotic, they completely pulled it off.
Right.
They 100% pulled off chaos and molded it into a cohesive film that's not only entertaining, but really makes you feel something. Yeah. And then if you want to get into the philosophy of it, which I'm going to ask you in a second, so chamber that up.
Already.
The idea that the philosophy, it almost is, I don't know if they intended this or not, but the philosophy is, it's not like I said, Tenet, where you just check out and you go, what, they just know what they're doing.
Cool. Yeah.
I'll see him in 2.5 hours. It's going to be amazing, but don't ask me what it was about.
Right. I agree with you.
Yeah, absolutely. The philosophy of this movie, it was kind of like we could get into it or I get it overall. So it's your choice whether you want to get into what this movie's saying, or you could just see it from the outside when you get to the end and go, oh, I got it.
Yeah.
Which one did you do, plebeian?
Well, excuse me, Philistine. I would say it's more of it did surprise me how they went for all that heart a little bit. I thought I was going to get more kung fu, but I got it though when they were saying it.
You didn't like the heart?
Oh, I love the heart. I didn't say I didn't like it.
Not the beef heart.
No, I didn't see it come. Like I didn't think it was going to be that heartfelt by the end of it.
See, this is how we watch movies totally differently. I knew within the first 10 minutes when she was talking to her daughter outside and she couldn't give her a compliment. Oh, we're going to tug on the heartstrings and go full circle here. And I know Andy Pesch is going to miss this completely because he's only going to see Kung Fu.
No, you're only saying that now because I said it. You didn't know. You didn't think that second part.
But you were not saying?
I was not saying what you were saying. But no, I didn't think it was going to. Of course, there's going to be some heart, but I didn't think it was going to be that insightful and heartfelt.
Tell me some of the insights.
Oh, well, I mean,
you're a storyteller.
It's just life, man. Life, especially because there are all these different universes, quote unquote, are going on, and what directions and choices that you make in life. How one path is what if she did pursue it, right? And then the other path is, but she didn't, but she tried or acquired something from it a little bit from trying to do these different life choices. And it gives you both realities of, appreciating what you got and making the best of it. Because if you take a look at it, maybe you finally see something that you've been overlooking right in front of your nose. Or there's things that that you can have the confidence that you have the agency in your life to do what you want. You kind of make some choices. Maybe you should have made a choice differently there and not there. But, it's kind of eye of the beholder. And there's two different, and they're throughout the story, especially with the husband, the father, and the daughter, they all give their input on kind of a different viewpoint. But at the same time, I think it's like kindness and self-reflection.
Do you roll your own cigarettes using farts?
I'd be making a lot of money if I could.
I had to tell you to adjust your beret during that, but it's like these people. Like I lost reality when you were talking because not only did that not make sense. To quote Billy Madison, I am now dumber having heard it.
Well, I was just, it was a multiverse.
You're going to try to do it again? Oh, great. Yeah.
No, I need a nap. One and done, baby.
Okay. What were you saying? Or can we move on?
I thought I summed it up.
I don't know.
Okay.
I checked out and went into the quiet space.
2 sentences.
What's the movie about philosophically?
Well, in life, you make these choices.
Good. Done.
And how you look at them or how you view them, sometimes, you make the right choices. Sometimes maybe you didn't, but those led you to where you are today. And you're not helping this.
I thought that's way better than the last thing you said.
Well, I'm done. You're done.
Wherever you go, that's where you are.
Yeah, it's the journey, man.
I mean, you are a bumper sticker philosopher, that's for sure.
That is not true. But they should make some. I could make some bumper stickers.
How many times have you quoted song lyrics on a date?
Everyone.
And passed it off as your own?
Everyone.
Oh, yours destined to win, baby. Okay.
Everyone.
Every single person you've been on a date with knows you're quoting them but never says anything. They just walk away and go,
I will say it's 50-50
swipe
sometimes.
left next time.
Nowadays, you never know what people know.
Hunter S. Thompson quote in his bio, left.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it left or right? I don't know. Is it when you don't want to date with somebody? Is it left or right?
It's left.
How do you know? Moving on.
Hey. It is
Anyway,
the 90s.
Everything, everywhere, all at once. Did I get it?
Shit,
You gotta look it up too. I know. See, that's the only thing about the movie.
Everything, everywhere, all at once. Everything and then everywhere.
I give it points off for the title because it's hard to fucking remember. Like as a marketing thing, as a writer, as a direct, like there'd be a committee for me to change the title because it's hard to remember.
It is, but maybe that's why they're like, oh.
But you can't remember it either?
No.
It's not hard to remember. It's so easy to remember. What am I saying? What can I say? Like only people like you can't remember this title. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's one of the best of the year. And
what do you think it's about? Don't skid over your point here.
What I think if I told you what I thought it was about, number one, it'd be 30 minutes. Number two, you wouldn't hear a thing I'm saying. Number three, you'd nod your head and you'd say you know what I'm saying. And number four, I don't want to.
I think this is a cop out.
It's not a cop. You know me.
Give me two sentences.
I 100% think it's about mother-daughter relationships above all everything else.
Okay.
The universe stuff, like you're saying about choices we make and everything, yes, fine. But I think the overall feeling I got from the movie, because the villain was the daughter, the quote-unquote villain, and her philosophy on ending the universe, and the mother was the hero, quote-unquote hero of the movie, I think you have to start there on what overall the movie is about philosophically. Okay. And that's all I'm going to leave you with.
I just nodded and I...
Exactly.
But it was, I had plenty of time to listen. No, I get it. I really do.
Yes, you could get into more of the familial stuff or the choices we make stuff or, you know, all the stuff with the montages and Jamie Lee Curtis and the multiverses and stuff like that. But at the core of it, what do you see what the movie being about? You have to start it. This woman and her daughter, and this is the reason we have conflict. That's what the movie's about. So unpack that first. Okay. Yeah. And that's my favorite part of the movie, actually. Yeah. I really loved how strained that relationship was, and especially how they couldn't communicate, even though you could see why they both couldn't communicate. I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was real. And so yeah, like that you could take all of the other stuff out of the movie, the kung fu fights, the effects, all that kind of stuff. I loved all that too. But the actual heart and emotion of the movie between the mother and the daughter and the reason the movie existed, that hit it out of the park for me. Because if you make me care, you could literally CG the shit out of everything in the movie. Yeah. And I hate CG. You know how much I hate green screen and blue screen and building it all on the brain with fucking Avatar. But if you make me care, I will enjoy the movie because I care. Yeah. And that says a lot about me because I am a very practical filmmaker and practical writer, and I like to do everything practically in the frame. But that's a big rule with all movies for me. Just make me care. What was What other movie did I see?
That was current.
Nice segue. Yeah, just give me some other movies that you watched, and I'll tell you about the Adam Sandler movie that I watched.
The Addams Family movie. The new
Adam Sandler movie that I watched.
So I watched So I Married an Axe Murder, A Futile and Stupid Gesture. I had like a little bit of a
Slow down. I can't hear what you're saying.
A Futile and Stupid Gesture.
Oh, the National Lampoon.
Yeah. So I had like a little Lampoon session. I watched Animal House, Caddyshack. I watched Dig, that documentary / movie about the Brian Jonestown Massacre.
We could just call that a documentary.
Palm Springs. I wanted to rewatch that. I watched that.
Andy Samberg.
Yeah. A League of Their Own. About Time. Friday the 13th, A New Beginning, and The Talented Mr. Ripley.
All right. Now, is there any movie on that list that I would consider a classic? Yeah, I mean, the comedies, some of those comedies, of course, are undeniably unbelievable. But I'm saying, is there anything in that list that would have moved me?
Nina, the studio dog, just yawned at that list.
The dog's yawning. Just go through that list one more time and tell me of all the movies that one would have moved me.
A League of Their Own.
I like to talk like I'm Leonard Bernstein.
Yeah, I mean, About Time moves you.
Absolutely. And League of Their Own.
Yeah,
Also, two great movies. And what's weird, I saw both of those in our downtime also. We didn't watch those together?
No, we didn't.
Wow. That makes me disturbed.
I do know you. I take it back.
Disturbed to no degree.
I even kicked the microphone. I was so excited.
Somehow you've ruined those movies for me. Do you want to see? I'll just go down my list of the movies that I watched.
Let's do it.
And you can stop me if you want to talk about any of them.
Okay.
I watched Hustle with Adam Sandler. That was the other new movie that I watched. It's Adam Sandler. He's a basketball scout.
Oh yeah.
And he goes over. Basically, they stole the premise of Albert Brooks's The Scout with Brendan Fraser.
Oh, yeah, I love that
except
movie.
it's not baseball, it's basketball. It's the same fucking movie.
Really?
It's the same exact movie. The guy has problems, and then, he has to deal with the problems, not psychological problems. He has to go to a shrink, but he has problems with like the law back in his country, and they don't know if he can get him to play. But it was a good movie. I really enjoyed it, and Sandler was great in it. And the kid that was the basketball star was a real basketball player in the NBA, and he knocked it out of the park.
Wasn't it like Yao Ming?
There was a bunch of basketball players in it, but the main
yeah.
guy in it was really great. As an actor, I kept going, this guy's never acted before. This is pretty fucking good.
Hey.
It's a feel-good movie. Queen Latifah's in it. How could that be bad?
Right.
And, it surprised me. I actually, because Sandler's not known now to put out movies on Netflix that are critically acclaimed. They're kind of like his Friends movies, and they're silly. And
then he saves that for like the theatrical.
Yeah,
like
exactly. Uncut Gems or something, But this was good. I like this, and if he made more movies on Netflix like this, I would watch more of them. I haven't seen, but to his credit, I've only listened to how bad the other movies are. I've not seen them, so it's not fair to say they're bad. It's just critics really shit on his movies on Netflix when they're comedies.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see his other movies now, because maybe the critics are wrong.
Yeah.
And I don't consider myself a critic. I'm a filmmaker. It's different. I'm not being critical of anything. Just you and that chair and that shit-eating grin on your face. But Hustle's good. I think you'd enjoy it.
All right, I'll check.
But you don't know anything about basketball, and you're not very.
I know a little bit enough to watch a movie about basketball.
You can't. When was the last time you shot a basketball?
It's been a few years.
Okay. Even though there was a basketball hoop on set.
I didn't shoot it fucking once. I didn't even fucking
There's a
have
reason
time.
for that. Because I threw you a football, and you went, what the fuck is this? I can't shoot this. But yeah, Hustle. Check it out on Netflix. It's good. I also watched The Godfather. I watched because they offer that show, and I read a book about the making of that. I watched Serial Mom at the New Beverly Cinema.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I watched all the Jackass movies for some reason.
I had that on my list, but I don't want to mention them.
I watched all the Jackass movies 1 through 3. Actually, no, sorry, there's no 1. Jackass 2 and 3. Because when I came home from production, I had to put on something so dumb,
so anti-movie,
yeah.
Filmmaking.
I had to watch a bunch of grown men get hurt and put themselves in situations where they're physically fucking each other up, and the whole time I kept watching, going like, I cannot believe I'm watching these movies again. I know, but at the same time, it was the complete opposite of the kind of movie that we just made. So for some reason, as wild as that sounds, it just made sense because my brain was not computing anything on screen anymore. And in a weird way, thank you, Johnny Knoxville, for giving me that entertainment. Because,
thank you, man.
Because I needed mindless entertainment. And yes, for all listeners out there, I do know how stupid that sounds. Okay,
I was there. I agree with them. I support that.
It was so dumb. Yeah, it was so bad.
But when you're filmmaking, it's like it's not that it's anti-filmmaking movie. It's just that it's.
Well, I give them props because they went out and made 3 of these things, and there were actual crew and everything that went, well, how do we film this shit coming out of this guy's ass?
How's the light?
It's like another penis in the shot. Make sure it has light.
Yeah.
A shadow on the penis. But yeah, whatever. It helped me. I also watched A Star Is Born, the latest one, again, to try to make sense of it. And even on an airplane with all that oxygen, I still didn't like it. I mean, I should have. I would
give that movie so many chances.
I've given it so many chances, and on airplanes, I cry to everything because of all that oxygen they put. I literally am still booing the movie. Everybody that's sitting in the row with me is like, "What's wrong with you, man? This movie's great." I'm going, "Shut the fuck up!" She's singing in a parking lot. Sorry. All props to Bradley Cooper. I do love Bradley Cooper. Catch Me If You Can. We're No Angels from 1955. Con Air, which I could do a whole I could do a whole podcast. I watch Con Air.
I'm upset you watched that without me.
I watch Con Air on the beach in Rimini in Italy. That's so fucking badass.
Nick
by
Cage
the way.
would be proud.
I watch Dogma, E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
This is all over the place.
Red Dawn. I've never seen Red Dawn before with Patrick Swayze.
Oh yeah, how was that? I've never watched it either. Next week.
I was disappointed.
Okay.
I was very disappointed, actually.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
unless you want to talk about them.
It was just one big explosion and gunplay the whole time. And I thought it was going to be like, hard.
make you feel something.
I thought that because it was Milius, I thought it was going to have some story to it. But basically, the Russians land and start shooting everyone. And Patrick Swayze and his band of Wolverines are like, not in our backyard. And that's pretty much the movie. They just keep shooting each other.
Okay. Good enough.
Which, like, for effects wise, it was interesting because it was all practical effects with tanks and explosions and shit.
Cool.
Other than that, where's the story? Also watched Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid, the Steve Martin movie.
I never watched that.
And you never even heard of it, have you?
No.
Oh, I never watched that. You haven't heard of it? No, I'm not. That's good timing. There's good straight man stuff there. We can talk about that too. That's a very interesting movie. And I also rewatched This Is Where I Leave You.
Is that the Joaquin Phoenix movie?
No.
Wait a minute. This is where just give me the. I think I've seen this movie.
It's a big cast romantic comedy. Jason Bateman, Tina Fey, Adam Driver, Dax Shepard.
Oh, I don't.
Corey Stoll.
I know what movie.
Jane Fonda.
Yeah, I don't think I've.
It's
ever
actually a
watched
really underrated movie. I really enjoy it. Sean Levy, I think, directed it, and he's known for making like Night at the Museum, and, like movies that are not like this. But it's a really underrated movie. It really pulled at my heartstrings. I mean, I'm a sucker for rom-coms, but really good. You wouldn't like it.
You don't know.
Oh, I know. Believe me, I know.
Here's the thing. When you say that, then I'm like, every once in a while, I'm like, I'm going to just watch this movie out of spite. But then I'm like, but he said I'm not going to like it. And I trust his opinion. So I'm damned if I do. I'm damned if I don't.
No, because if you try to push through that wall when you're watching it, you're going to hit your face. I know you. I know you better than you know yourself. You're going to be yelling at me internally while you're watching this and yourself going, I should have listened. Where are you on the Bill Hader list, by the way? You're watching his like top 100 comedies or something?
Ties into your point, because I was going to watch Amarcord because you were in Rimini. Amarcord. And I was just like, fuck, I kept wanting to watch it.
I went to the birthplace of Fellini, and you couldn't have watched one Fellini movie to relate to me by the time I got back home.
I figure we have time. But, I was like, fuck, man. I was like, have
you ever seen a Fellini movie?
I believe yeah.
Which one?
Didn't we just watch one about Venice? Like right before you went on your trip?
No, that was Summertime with David Lean.
Oh,
and Katharine Hepburn.
Yeah, that was
David Lean and Fellini.
You didn't mention that on the list. We watched that. That was a great movie. I enjoyed that.
Wow, David Lean and Fellini.
I'm not trying to build a bridge here.
You watched Summertime and went, looks like a Fellini film.
Well, it wasn't an Italian either, so I was like, fuck, this is a gamble.
That's the first giveaway. This isn't an Italian. What a choice.
It's either a Fellini or a Argento.
He could do anything, this Fellini guy. He even speak all in English. And I still don't want to watch it.
I don't know if I have to look up a list of Fellini movies, and I don't want to get bummed out at the end of the podcast.
You don't have to say the second part. I just don't want to. I can look up a list of Fellini. I just don't want to. Oh, okay. Sorry we rushed through all those. Though I couldn't even get mini reviews. It's just kind of what we've been watching. We got through the bulk of the first review. I guess that's good enough.
Right. Yeah.
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
I have to look it up one last time. I mean, everything, everywhere, all at once.
I mean, that to me, that's a ridiculous title.
Man.
That's a ridiculous title because it's so confusing. You don't put two words next to each other on a title that sounds so similar. Because it's like, remember that movie Martha, Marley, Macy, Marlene, whatever the fuck it was called?
I know.
It's like confusing as shit, man. What order do these go in?
I can't even hold it together.
But it also is like, oh yeah, remember how fucked up that title was?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Which is not good marketing to me.
It's a marketing device.
I don't think so. I think they did the Russo brothers do that movie? They produced it, I guess.
I assume they did.
I assume they did.
I forget.
I think they can just do anything they want. They're sort of like the George Lucas of our age now. So you can't tell them to do shit.
Yeah.
Even if their title does suck.
But the movie's great.
But the movie's amazing.
So
It's
they're
just
like,
title's confusing as
you
shit.
get the title. You gave us the
But all the sections were like the title. I get it. You didn't. You could have called it like Time. And then you could have still had all the segments that were everything and then always and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you still could have done that. Just, God damn, man, that title.
Yeah.
It just makes it hard at film parties.
Right.
Because you don't want to fuck it up and look like a moron like Andy does.
Starting at hashtag EEAO for the movie.
Yikes.
Well, the movie came out in April, or the beginning of April, so it's gone.
Yeah, we're back and more weeks of this.
Yeah. This is fun. I forgot how much I missed this.
I'm glad one of us had fun.
I thought, well, okay, whatever. I'll talk to the dogs.
And that's only because I'm drinking Campari. Still in Italian time. All right, keep them live.